Hey, Picks and Parlay family, it's me, Detroit Lenny, here with another episode of the Parlay Party for the last day of, not Parlay Party, Power Hour. Picks and Parlay Power Hour. That's what we're doing right now. There's a lot of P's in this whole show's YouTube channel. Well, I'm Detroit Lenny, Picks and Parlays. Power Hour is what we're doing. We got some college basketball to talk. We got some NBA to talk about. We got some hockey to talk about. Clemson at Virginia, Washington Wizards at the Atlanta Hawks. Iowa at Indiana. We're going to talk Timberwolves at the Clippers and Panthers Lightning, all for today, February 28th, Tuesday. Tomorrow is March. You know what that means, St. Patty's Day, right around the corner. Don't forget about No House Advantage. They are changing the game, offering you the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Sign up when you sign up at nohouseadvantage.com or you download the app. Use the promo PNP, and that'll get you a deposit match of up to $50. So let's get going here with this basketball stuff. Let's bring in Cam Ross here, all the way from the ATL. What's happening, Mr. Cam Ross?
What's going on? How are you today?
I'm livid, man. We had a last-minute switch with me and Allie today. We're swapping days. She accidentally, I'm assuming that nobody purposely locks her key. She locked her keys in her car, though.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties, right? Exactly. So I was last minute on camera here, not ready. But I hope I look good. Does my hair look okay, Cam?
Yeah.
Thanks. Let's talk Clemson at Virginia. Virginia minus 6.5. The over/unders at a solid 130 here. Talk to me about some college basketball. Do I take Clemson here? Ranked, unranked?
Yeah, I am going to take Clemson, and it's crazy to say this. Clemson has led or did lead the ACC for most of this season. They were just rolling through the conference. They were dominating. They were sitting atop of the mountain. And even right now, they're one game back. They're actually tied with this Virginia team in, I guess, second place because Miami's a half game back of Pittsburgh, and then it's these two a game back. But Clemson has really hit a rough patch. They lost to Louisville just a few days ago, and Clemson keeps teetering between the first four out and the next four out, despite rolling through the season like they've been rolling. I don't know if Clemson wins this game, but Clemson has to really turn it on and play well. They're going to have to win a couple of games in the ACC tournament to get into the dance. I think this is one of those games where Clemson can try to boost their resume. So I'm going to give the Tigers the points. Plus 6.5, as they have a lot to play for. Because win or lose, Virginia's in. They've played well this season. They've had a tougher schedule, even though they have the same conference record. But Virginia has just looked better overall. Clemson has several bad losses. I'm going to take the Tigers on the points as they need the win to get to the dance.
Yeah, see, that's a great motivational factor here at this point in the season. I don't think Virginia's got anything to play for. They're the same exact team. Same exact record, conference record, everything. They're the exact same team, except Virginia's in. Clemson's got to win, so I like them plus the points for sure. Let's talk about some NBA here. Washington Wizards at the Atlanta Hawks. This line moved. It's been moving up. Hawks minus 7, over under 234. Talk to me about this game. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, this one moved up because no KP. Kristaps Porzingis is going to be out for the Wizards tonight, so that moved it. That moved it somewhat. But I think a big motivational thing here for the Hawks is Quinn Snyder. You know, he's their new coach. They fired Nate, and this is expected to be Quinn Snyder's first game. You know, he's just signed a pretty good contract, pretty good sized contract, and I think this is one of those spots where Quinn wants to show management and the team he means business. We're here to win games. Right. It's a home game, so the crowd's probably going to be behind, and they're going to probably be happy to see him. Right. I like the Hawks here. You know, I don't see a lot from the Wizards here. You know, no KP, like I said, that takes a big chunk out of their lineup, rebounds, assists, points. But I think this is going to be a statement game for Quinn Snyder to show he should be an NBA coach. He should have been in the NBA this whole time, and I think the Hawks are going to be excited to have a new guy at the helm. So I'm going to take the Hawks minus the 7.
I'll tell you what, I'm not a fan of players getting coaches fired.
Me neither.
I'm not a fan of that, but I do think this is going to have some positive results because of it. I mean, Atlanta's talented, and if it unfortunately just goes to shows, you know, sometimes, you know, the patients run the hospital, so to speak, in nicer terms.
Teammates run the asylum.
Yep, the inmates run. I didn't want to say it, but that's for sure. The NBA, the inmates run the asylum for sure. So Cam's taking the Hawks -7. So just to recap, we're taking Clemson plus the 6.5, Hawks minus the 7. Cam Ross, tell them what you got going on over at Picks and Parlays.
Basketball, basketball heavy. I don't do hockey until a little later in the season, playoff time. Baseball is right around the corner. I don't, I'm not messing with spring training or anything like that. So baseball's coming, but basketball is right in the thick of it. We talked last week. A lot of teams, their playoffs have pretty much started with the second half of the season coming because, you don't. If you're out of the bubble, if you're out of the play-in tournament, you want to get in the play-in tournament. If you're in the play-in tournament, you're trying to get out of the play-in tournament. So, and then just like Clemson fighting for their lives to get into the dance, basketball is really heavy right now, and that's what I have 3-4 plays a day at least. So it's just basketball for me right now.
That's fair. And don't forget, when you're over at picksandparlays.net, use the promo code Madness. That'll save you 20% off the entire website over there. And again, just to recap, Clemson plus 6.5. Atlanta -7. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Cam Ross and Picks and Parlays Power Hour here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Cam, I appreciate you stopping by, buddy.
Sounds good. See you later.
Take care. All right, guys, we still got another college game, another NBA game, and some NHL to talk about. We're going to bring Nick Parsons in here from the Insiders Room, talk some Big Ten basketball. Iowa at Indiana. Indiana -5.5. Over-under is 156. Nick Parsons, I'm intrigued by the Big Ten basketball. I'm not big on college basketball, but I do like Big Ten basketball. I don't know about this. Where are we going with this?
Well, that's because they're two really good teams here, obviously. Iowa's 18-11, Indiana 20-9. They did play earlier in the year. Iowa won and covered a 91-89 victory as a 1-point favorite. So it was a really tight game, obviously, and it was a really high-scoring game as well. Now, Indiana, it's 11-7 in conference play. Iowa is 10-8. And the Hawkeyes, they come into this game off a crazy overtime win over Michigan State. They got revenge from an earlier loss. They won 112-106. I actually had Iowa in that one, so I feel pretty fortunate because they were a 5.5-point favorite. They won by 6 points. So, yeah, the half-point cover in that one. The Hawkeyes, I mean, they moved the ball incredibly well. They averaged the 12th most assists per game with 16.6. They also have an extremely low turnover rate at 12.1%, which ranks 6th. And they also have a low personal foul rate, Lenny, of 18.4%, and that's 15th overall. Now, for the Hoosiers, I mean, they bounced back from an awkward loss to Michigan State. Most recently, they beat Big Ten leading Purdue. On the road by a score. It was 79-71. They're a well-balanced team on both sides of the ball. They rank 29th in effective field goal percentage, and they hold their opponents to effective field goal percentage of 46.9%, and so that's 34th overall. But the one area where their defense does lack is in creating turnovers at 195th. But so when I'm just looking at these two teams, I'm not going to focus on a side. I like the total here. When they first met, the total went way over the number. And I just think that, we're going to see a similar sort of style, a similar sort of paces here as well. So I'm going with the over in this one.
I actually don't think I actually do like the over for all the reasons you just mentioned. But I also think that overtime could play into this game. I think they're both going to go. I think this is going to be a hard fought battle. So if this goes into overtime, that just plays to more points over.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So let's move on to the NBA here. We're going to talk Minnesota Timberwolves at the LA Clippers. Clippers -6.5. Over-under is 233. Where are we going with this one?
Well, these teams are pretty evenly matched as far as their numbers and records are concerned. Minnesota, it's 31-32. It's 9th in the Western Conference. The Clippers, they're 33-30 and 5th in the West. Now, LA, it has actually struggled in this matchup of late. It's lost 2 of the last 3, and that includes a 128-115 loss on the road earlier in the season. The Clippers, they were shorthanded in that one. Neither Kawhi Leonard nor Paul George was playing. But Minnesota won't be lacking for motivation here. It's lost 3 games in a row. It's 2-2 in its last 4 on the road. But LA, it's also stumbling. It's lost 2 in a row, 4 of its last 6 games. The Clippers, they're also just 1-4 in their last 5 at home. But the reason that I really like the Wolves here, Lenny, is because of their offense. It ranks 10th overall in the NBA in points per game, 4th in shooting percentage. The defense is middle of the road, ranked 19th. But LA, I think it has to be feeling deflated here after back-to-back overtime losses. Most recently, it was an exhausting 134-124 setback to Denver. LA does struggle to put points on the board, around 112.5. It's a bit better on the defensive end, allowing just 112.2. But, I mean, it just allowed the 134 points there to Denver.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that the Wolves have much more than just a puncher's chance in this one, in a contest that I think will be decided by whichever team has its hands on the ball last. I'm going to grab the points. I like Minnesota here.
I was just going to say this is going to come down to a 1-2 possession game kind of thing. And if that's the case, I'm going to take the points. Minnesota Timberwolves plus the 6.5. Nick Parsons, tell me what you got going on over at picksandparlays.net there.
Well, if you just go to the front of picksandparlays.net, you're going to see myself, the Insiders Room, on most of the leaderboards there. So it's just been great over the last few weeks. We're just rolling at the exact right time here before the conference tournaments start. So come check us out. Check out the leaderboards and check out the Insiders Room at picksandparlays.net.
I know you're all over them leaderboards. All you guys are. Don't forget, use the promo code MADNESS. Save you 20% off when you go to picksandparlays.net. You look for Nick Parsons or any of our other premium handicappers. Till then, just to recap, we're going to go over that number 156 when Iowa takes on Indiana tonight. And we're going to take the points, Minnesota Timberwolves plus the 6.5. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Power Hours here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Nick Parsons, I appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Thanks, Lenny.
Take care. All right, guys, we're not done. We still got some ice to talk about. On the ice, we're always bringing our man, Terry Edelman, on the Power Hour. Terry, we're going to talk Florida Panthers at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning minus 160. Over under, I got even 7. This is expected to be a high-scoring game. I know you have some player props for us on this one. So talk to us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so when I saw this is the game I was getting, I thought, okay, this is a great game. But looking at it, its price, odds makers have made this game very difficult to back from a side or total perspective. Basically, if you like the Lightning, you have to take them in regulation, and you have to take them by 2 unless you play minus 160, which I don't. If you like the total, well, this game could very well finish with 7. So the total could very well be a push, but also you'd have to get 8 to win, 6 to lose. It's a tough game, but there are some players right now for both teams that are playing really great hockey right now. So I do like goals to be scored in this game. Starting with Florida, Eetu Luostarinen. He plays on the second line for Florida. He has a point in 7 of his last 9 games. He is plus 130 to get a point. So that is great odds for him to get a point.
I like that.
And Braden Point, he is right now the hottest player for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has a goal in 4 straight games. He has been playing great hockey. So these are the 2 players that I'm targeting today. It's a good player prop game.
I think it's a great player prop game. Let me be clear about that. I think it's a great in-play game if you're into in-play betting and stuff like that. I like that. As far as taking a side or a total, either way, I stayed way away from this game. If anything, I like the under. If you really just can only bet a side or a total, I kind of lean under. I look at it like at about 6 type game, maybe not 7, but player props in certain games are can be really lucrative, and I think this is one of them. I'm not even going to Braden Point. I can pronounce his name. The other guy from the Panthers, I know who he is, but I'm terrible at names, so we're just going to go with that. A good breakdown though.
E2 is nice and easy.
E2.
You can just forget the last name and just say E2. E2.
Yeah, E2. Yeah.
The last name, yes, Lou Serenen. It can be.
Yeah, exactly. Terry, tell them what you got going on over at picksandparlays.net. I know you're heavy into hockey.
Yeah, I'm not currently on the leaderboards this week, right currently, but that's how it goes. You have good times, you got bad times. I was number one last week for a bit. Kind of in a slow, went 1-2 yesterday. So not horrible, but not great either. So looking to get right here. But it's all hockey for me. So if you want hockey picks, I'm your guy.
All right. I like it. Just to recap, here are the player props that we're going to go with. E2 from the Florida Panthers, anytime point plus 130. Braden Point from the Lightning gets a goal tonight, plus 135. Don't forget, use this promo code MADNESS. That'll save you 20% off the entire website over at picksandparlays.net. And don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Power Hours here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Terry Edelman, I'll see you on the next one, buddy.
Have a good one.